Now, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, are facing some legal issues in the US, the country of their origin, a country of Facebook's origin, and there seems to be a possibility of them might breaking up. By breaking up, I mean WhatsApp and Instagram might end up being sold to different companies because not because they have to, but because they are forced to, because of the legal issues and all that. Now, I'm wondering what would actually happen if this actually comes into effect. If WhatsApp is owned by an individual company and Facebook and Instagram is owned by another company. Now, right now, these three applications are working seamlessly. They don't have any issues because there are similar types of platforms, I guess. So there's a lot of R&D that goes into them. Stuff that goes into one can be applied into the other, and overall, it's a cost-effective. And as we know, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, they're all free. We don't have to pay a subscription or anything. There isn't anything that we need to do to use them. That's a big thing. And because they're all together under this one parent company, they seem to be able to do that. But what happens if they end up getting sold off? If another individual company buys one of them, buys Instagram, I mean, if they're gonna buy this thing, they're gonna want to make a profit out. So they might end up adding a subscription service to it, and that could be a huge problem because they've gotten so used to not having to pay for this and this being free that if all of a sudden a subscription comes up, I don't think people would take that very well. I mean, everyone uses WhatsApp and Instagram, and I don't know how that would go. And especially if WhatsApp ends up having a subscription service, that could be a huge problem. I mean, WhatsApp is a must for everyone. Now, Instagram is something we use for a lot of fun and meeting new people, but WhatsApp's actually completely necessary for day-to-day tasks for everyone these days. And that becomes a subscription-based service. People might actually start going off it and go on to alternatives. There are some alternatives out there, but I don't think any of them come close to WhatsApp. And that's partly because WhatsApp was under Meta. But if these two becomes separate and subscribe services, yeah, I don't think it would end well for them, because then new competition would rise up. And that could be a huge deal. Now, that's one aspect of why this could be a huge problem. But the other thing is, well, would they actually work as well? Honestly, that's a big issue too. Because, like I said before, there are R&D that's being used on one, and some would be applied to the others because they're all similar services. They're messaging services. They have posts. You can post stuff on it. You can send stuff on it, and it works well together. Not together, I mean, it works well, and that was a big advantage they had. So if other companies take them separately, then they had to invest R&D into them separately, and I don't know how much R&D they can actually put into it, and they had to be competing with each other now, because now they are in competition with each other, and that's a big problem. And Facebook is in competition with Instagram, and they're in WhatsApp with competition with both of them, I guess, in some sense. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram will have huge competition between each other. And Facebook's a huge company, Meta's a huge company, so I don't know if Instagram on its own can compete with Facebook. It depends on who buys it, I guess, but still. They've been doing this for a long time, so they clearly know what they're doing. And a new company, even if they have the funds to compete, it will probably take some time for them to actually match up to them. And by then, who knows what happens, because this is social media and tech. Things could change instantly. It's super fast. You don't really have that much time to wait. So that's a big problem. Now, will any of this actually happen? Well, it seems highly unlikely. there were talks about another company going through the same thing before, but it didn't happen. And this and like I said before, these social media apps are an integral part of everyone's day-to-day life. So I don't know if they can be forced to sell them, if it would actually impact the quality of people's life, because if it affects people in a negative way, they cannot really do that. Even if they did, even if there are some legal issues, and I don't think this is gonna happen. Now, it's a possibility, yes, but I don't think in the long term it would be worth it if these three break up, because right now these three together, they seem to be running really well, and I think that's probably the way it's gonna go in the future as well.